This nugget is a third in a series of 5, dealing with summarizing the actual project management activities we're going to produce, to deliver, and putting them into each of the 5 project management processes. This nugget is focused on executing, understanding the project management steps, the activities that we're going to take as project managers, and determining which one of those are going to be done in executing. It's often stated executing is where the project team delivers the project and where there's very little activity in the project management area. Half of that statement is true. Project executing is absolutely where the team delivers the project. Executing is where the team completes all of the deliverables for the project, but as seen by this list of the project management activities that we will be doing in executing, there is also significant project management activity in executing as well. Key to that is the first one, directing and managing the project. This is where we as the project management team will ensure that the processes are in place to support the project team in delivering. This is where we're going to manage the execution of the project. We're going to ensure the team is working on the right tasks at the right time, doing the right things. Directing and managing the project is the project management team ensuring that the team is focused on, that the team have the tools at hand, the materials, the training, the support that they need to successfully complete their project assignments. The rest of these are really subsets to that. The key first subset is performing quality assurance, ensuring that the team is doing the right things, ensuring that the team is following the standards and procedures and the quality processes defined for the project. Obviously, we need a team itself, so we need to go through the human resources aspects of acquiring the team, working with the human resources department to ensure that the right team members with the right skills join the project at the right times. So if your human resource plan said you needed 2 analysts at the beginning of the project, 3 more analysts 3 months into the project, a designer 4 months into the project, and 5 developers 5 months into the project, acquiring the team is working with the human resources department to ensure that those resources with the skills required join the project at those points in time, and where appropriate, that resources are released from the team if after month 4 or month 6, 3 of the analysts are no longer required because you're heavily into development phase. It means that you are releasing those analysts back to the human resources team, relieving the project of them, i.e. relieving the project budget of the burden of those particular analysts who are no longer required. Obviously, there may be some development of the project team along the way. You may need to provide training. You may need to provide support. It may be as simple as conflict resolution, coaching, mentoring, supporting the team to ensure the team is performing effectively, that each and every team member is performing to their optimal levels. A key component to project executing is communications. I often say communicate, communicate, communicate. And if you're not sure the message has been properly delivered or properly received, communicate at least one more time. Information distribution is all about communicating the project information. Weekly status reports, monthly status reports, milestone reports, change requests, action items, fault reports, you name it. Any piece of information that you feel your project stakeholders may have an interest in or may have an ability to influence to ensure the positive outcome of your project, you need to distribute that information. You need to communicate, communicate, communicate. And finally, in terms of project execution, project management activities, we have request seller responses. If there are components that your project needs to purchase, services, supplies, materials, consultants, whatever components need to be purchased to satisfy your project requirements, it's your job as the project management team to go out to the market, to identify the market, to alert the market to your requirements, and then to help the sellers provide qualified responses so that you can ensure you're getting the best products at the best prices, the best services at the best prices for your project. And then finally is the actual selection, determining which sellers are going to provide the optimal materials for your project and picking the vendors, the sellers, who are going to work best with your project to, again, ensure your project is prepared and equipped to go into the executing phase to deliver all of the promises, all of the deliverables, all of the end products that your project has been taken on to complete, and picking the right sellers, the right vendors that's going to help you execute your project successfully. The key component of project executing is directing and managing the project. As defined in Project Integration Management knowledge area, directing and managing the project is the focused activities of the project management team to ensure that the project is completed, to ensure that all of the work on the project is completed, that all of the work is completed to specification, and that the business is happy. As mentioned in the introduction to this nugget, this is where the most effort on the project is expended. This is where all of the project team members' work is completed. The other components to our project management processes, initiating, planning, monitoring and controlling, and closing, are all project management activities. No one but the project management team is involved with the other project management process groups. Project executing, on the other hand, is where all of the other project team members' work is spent. The project team members work on the project task assignments. The project team members complete each and every project deliverable, complete each and every task assignment. So obviously this is where the most effort is expended. But our focus is not necessarily on the execution of each individual task. Our focus is on ensuring that each and every individual task is completed appropriately, on time, and so on, but that the actual execution of those tasks is the project team member's activity, responsibility. This is an important concept to understand. Project management is not about rolling up your sleeves and working on the project. Project management is not about rolling up your sleeves, sitting down beside one of your team members and say, let me help you with that. I've been there, I've done that, I know how to do that. I can really produce this X deliverable far faster than you can. Let me do it for you. That will get my project back on track. That's not what directing and managing the project is all about. As a project manager, you will be ensuring that the project team members are doing their job, but not doing their job. So again, most of the work is expended in this particular phase of project management, process group of project management. But you are not actually doing the work. You're letting the team members do the jobs for which they were assigned to the project. Obviously, all of the deliverables are produced in this particular component of our project. Each and every task is executed, and therefore each and every deliverable for the project is produced in this phase of our project. Where we get involved as project managers is in the problem area. There will be problems during project execution. Deliverables will not satisfy specifications. Team members will not have the materials they need, the skills they need, the tools they need. We will have to go out and buy additional support for the project. We will have to get additional training. We may have to bring in additional team members. We may have to. Our key activity in project execution, in directing and managing the project, is resolving of problems. So this is why you're not going to roll up your sleeves and sit down beside the team member and say, I've got the experience, I can help you get this job done. Let me get this single task, let me get the single deliverable produced more efficiently. You don't want to do that because your job, our job as the project manager, is to resolve the problems, to remove the roadblocks, to ensure that the team members have the support, the tools, the equipment, the training, the materials, the authority, the knowledge, whatever is going to be involved with making sure they are prepared, equipped to execute the project. This is where we, the project managers, are going to help. We're going to ensure that the problems are resolved. We're going to remove the roadblocks. We're going to do everything in our power to ensure the team members are empowered, equipped to complete and execute the project. Bottom line, this is where the project itself is delivered. Therefore, we need to ensure we're doing everything we can to support the team to get the project delivered as efficiently, as effectively, i.e. on time, on budget, to customer satisfaction. We are supporting the team during project execution. We have to resist the urge to roll up our sleeves and do it for our team. One of the most critical components of project executing from a project management viewpoint is quality assurance. Whether you directly are responsible for quality assurance, i.e. in addition to the project manager's hat, you're also wearing the quality manager hat, and that's not uncommon for smaller projects. So in small projects, it's very common that the project manager is also the quality manager. As projects get larger and more complex, we will often bring in a separate manager directly responsible for quality. Doesn't matter from a project execution viewpoint whether you are wearing the quality manager's hat or whether you have a separate quality manager reporting to you. Obviously, as part of project execution, it's important that the quality assurance processes are followed. We need to ensure that quality is an integrated part of our project. We need to ensure that each and every team member is following the project processes, that the standards and procedures defined for the project are being followed. Successful project execution, i.e. successful project delivery, has no room for project heroics. A specific project team member who's determined to be the hero, to take shortcuts, to get things done, but to get things done their way, following shortcuts, is not satisfying successful project delivery. We need to ensure that all project processes are followed, that if the project standards and procedures define something is to be done a specific way, a document is to be produced in this format, using this font size, using this structure, that is the way the project must be executed. If a team member finds a shortcut, finds a way to produce the document that's better, they are welcomed to implement that as part of process improvement, to talk to the quality assurance manager, to talk to the project manager, to say, hey, I think I found a better way. How about we change the standards and procedures to follow my better way? That's perfect. But if the project team member simply believes through individual heroics, if they shortcut the process, find a better way without changing the standards and procedures, that's not improving the project delivery scenario. Quality assurance is all about ensuring that all processes are followed so that each and every team member is delivering project results in a consistent, proven, reliable, expected format. That's what quality assurance is all about. When team members find better ways to do that, that's wonderful, and that's to be encouraged. But when team members find better ways to do things, they need to feed it back into the quality assurance process, put it through a proper process improvement process that it can be reviewed and evaluated that says, yes, this team member has in fact found a better way. Let's implement that project-wide so that all future deliverables, all future components for our project are delivered using this better process, as opposed to one hero. And I'm sorry to pick on the term hero, but often it's the heroic activities, the one rogue team member, and again, I hate to say this, but often the heroes are also the rogue team members that go off and produce acceptable end products, but produce the acceptable end products following non-standard processes, non-standard procedures that in the end don't integrate, don't work as the project whole, work fine as individual sub-deliverables, but don't work as a whole. So again, ensure the quality processes are being followed, ensure that each and every team member is delivering their results according to the standards and procedures defined for the project so that all of the pieces integrate together. In other words, quality assurance is all about ensuring the team is doing the right things right the first time, ensuring that we're following the procedures. And again, I hate to pick on the poor hero because the hero thinks they're doing things for the betterment of the project. They're getting something done faster, which is great. We want to encourage that with our team members. But if getting things done faster means breaking the processes, not following the standards and procedures, resulting in a single sub-deliverable that is done faster, but may not integrate into the project at large, that's doing no one no good. Ensure that we're doing the right things right, and absolutely supporting, encouraging process improvement. I'm all for doing things faster, but we need to do things faster for the betterment of the whole project, not for the betterment of project subcomponents. Recognizing that the project team is critical to successful project delivery, i.e. you can't deliver a project without a team, we need to spend sufficient time during project execution ensuring that we have the right team with the right skills and doing what we can to ensure that the team has the support to get the project done, to get the job done. So the first component to that is actually staffing the project. It's getting the team according to the plan. So you need 2 analysts month 1. You need 3 more analysts on month 3. You need 5 developers on month 6. Whatever the staffing plan is going to be for your project, you need to work with the Human Resources Department to execute that plan. Now, there's sometimes significant challenge in that. Or maybe I've simply worked for organizations where there's a challenge in that area, but I think this challenge is fairly universal. Going in during project planning, everybody reviews your staffing plan and says, yes, that makes sense. 2 analysts with this skill set on month 1? Sure, we'll have that for you. On month 3, we need 3 more analysts with this skill set? Sure, we can have that skill set for you. On month 6, we need 5 developers with experience in this programming language? Sure, we'll have that for you. Conceptually, it all makes sense. Conceptually, looking at the staffing plan for the organization, all of this should fall into place. Unfortunately, my experience is, as the project delivers, and you come along to month number 3, and you go back to the Human Resources Department that says, it's now time to bring in these 3 additional analysts, problems start to happen. The Human Resources Department says, yes, Steve, I understand you need these 3 people, but unfortunately 3 new emergency projects have started in our company, and there's simply no experienced analysts available. The president, the CEO, has come up with this emergency project, and the analysts that I had planned for your team are suddenly unavailable because they're working on other project assignments. Here's what we're going to do. We have these 2 junior analysts who are sitting on the bench waiting for a deployment. I'm going to give you those 2 junior analysts, and the very next analyst that we hire, I'm going to put onto your project team. Or we're going to go out and hire an external consultant to come in and augment and support. So again, as you're going through staffing of the project, trying to execute against the original plan that you prepared for your project, there may be, and my experience is there often are, shortfalls between what your plan expects and what the company is able to provide, not because the company has misplanned, not because the HR department in your organization deliberately is trying to sabotage your project, simply because other projects, other priorities are happening inside your company, and sometimes, in spite of all best plans and all best efforts, the staffing complement for your project may fall short, may not be exactly what you're looking for according to your original staff plan. So what do? You yell, you scream, you shout, saying, this is unfair. This is not going to work. This is going to ensure my project is unsuccessful. By all means, and I strongly encourage you to yell, to scream, to shout, to have the temper tantrum that says, my project is important. My project will not be successful unless I have these 3 analysts. Ensure that everyone understands the importance of your project. But yelling and screaming and shouting may not do you any good. All the yelling and screaming and shouting still may not make 3 experienced analysts materialize out of thin air. So then you're going to have to go back and you're going to have to replan, redeploy, rework your plan based on not getting 3 experienced analysts, based on getting 2 junior analysts with some training requirements. So when you're going through and acquiring your project team, doing the incremental staffing as your project is in execution, when the staffing complement does not support the original plan, you need to go back and replan. You simply don't take the bad news and say, well, I guess I'll do my best. I wanted 3 experienced analysts. I only got 2 junior analysts, but hey, I know we'll still deliver the project on time. That's unrealistic. If you don't get the staff that you expected, go back and replan. Tell the business, tell senior management that says, hey, I understand there are other priorities. I understand this emergency project has been initiated. Therefore, my project is not going to be completed in month 8. because of the staffing shortfall, my project is now not going to be completed until month 10 or whatever the shortfall is going to be. Ensure that as you get staff for your project, you do the appropriate replanning to reforecast the project completion based on the actual staff that you're getting when it's time to staff up your project. Independent of whether you get exactly the staff that you want, or you get a subset, or maybe you're lucky and you get more experienced staff than you expected, you need to support the team during project executing. You need to ensure the team gets the appropriate training. If the team needs training in the business area to ensure that they converse with the business appropriately, provide the training. If the team needs training in the development processes that your project is following, provide the training. Whatever form of training that your team needs to ensure that they can complete their project assignments, ensure that training takes place. And that should be a budget issue for your project. If the team members need training to satisfy project expectations, that should be built into your overall budget for your project. So once the team is trained, once the team have the skills to successfully execute on your project, you then need to do what you need to do, or what you can do, to support the team. There will be conflict resolutions. Team members will not get along. Team members will have challenges with other team members. Team members will have challenges with the business unit. People don't automatically get along. So you need to work with the team. You need to deal with conflicts. You need to do whatever you can do to motivate, to support, to encourage effective team delivery. If you think back to the team building process of forming, storming, performing, and norming, you need to ensure that you're doing what you can do to get the team up to speed, that each and every team member is working, and pardon the cliche, as a well-oiled machine. As a project manager, it's your job to support the team so that they can get on and deliver the project itself. The next key component to project executing is information distribution, or as I've laid out, communicate, communicate, communicate. The most important thing a project manager can do to ensure all stakeholders, all team members, everyone who knows and cares about your project are fully informed is to communicate. Hold nothing back. Give full, honest, open disclosure of project status, project issues, project successes, and project failures. You need to ensure that you're delivering the appropriate status reports, whether it's a weekly status report or a monthly status report, to the appropriate stakeholders, and that, again, these status reports contain true, honest, open project status. Do not hide problems. Manage problems. Deal with problems internal to your project to the point where you, as a project manager, have power to influence the problems. But once the problems reach a point where it's beyond your capacity to affect improvement, it's your job as a project manager to ensure you're reporting, you're communicating, you're delivering full, honest, open status reports to the project stakeholders, to the project sponsor, on the identified frequency. Weekly status reports to your project sponsor, and monthly status reports to senior management and other project stakeholders. It's important that you provide milestone reports to the project stakeholders so they know how the project is doing. At month 3 in the project, we should have been at milestone number 4. Are we at milestone number 4? What's the current forecast for milestone number 4? What's the next milestone forecast for the project? And the most important date for everyone, of course, in the organization is what is the current forecasted end date for our project. Communicate, communicate, communicate. And if you're not sure everyone involved with the project truly understands the project information, communicate one more time. You can never be accused of communicating too much, but you can easily be accused of not communicating enough or the right information. The final key step to project execution is procurement management. Ensuring that you understand what you need to buy, that you're managing the process of purchase well, and that you're selecting the appropriate vendors. We do this by actually managing the RFP, or if you're not using a formal RFP, you're managing the purchase process itself. You're ensuring that you are buying the right product at the right time at the right price. Assuming you go through an RFP process or that you get some form of competitive bids, Procurement management involves evaluating the responses and selecting the appropriate solution. Selecting the solution that makes the most sense to your project. It may not necessarily be the most cost-effective solution, but it's the best solution. It's the whole cost-benefit trade-off of functionality versus cost. It's ensuring you're getting the right purchase process for your organization. And finally, it's selecting the successful bidders. Identifying, notifying, and working with the successful bidders to develop the ultimate contract or contracts that's going to be in place to manage the procurement, the ongoing delivery of the procurement process for your project. To conclude this nugget on project executing is where the project team delivers the work products, produces the work products, completes the deliverables that are required to satisfy the scope of the project. From a project management viewpoint, our activity, our involvement in project execution is directing and managing the process, ensuring that we have the processes in place to support our team, ensuring that the team are performing, doing the right things right, doing quality assurance to ensure that the standards and procedures and the quality processes defined by our project are being followed. It's putting the processes in place to acquire and develop the project team to ensure we're getting the right people at the right time, or if human resources is unable to provide the right people at the right time, that we're taking the appropriate actions to revise our plan, reforecast our budget, reforecast our end date that's consistent with the available project team, and it's the ongoing project team development, the training, the support, the motivational, the conflict resolution required to make your team work effectively in the performing stage of the team process. It's information distribution, communication, 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 ensuring that everyone involved with the project, the entire stakeholder community, is getting the right information, the accurate information about project status, project issues, project successes, and project failures, so that they can take the appropriate actions to help move your project towards successful conclusion. And finally, it's managing of the selection of the procurement process, ensuring that we are following the right procurement process as required for our project purchasing requirements, and that we are picking the right sellers, that we are picking the right vendors who are going to satisfy our project requirements. Project execution is all about ensuring we have the project management processes in place, ensuring that our team is going to work effectively, that each and every minute and hour the project team spends on the project is focused on delivering the right products at the right level of quality to satisfy the project requirements. This concludes our nugget on project executing. I hope this video has been informative for you, and thank you very much for viewing.